Hey everybody, it's Matt. I'm out here in the garage today. Obviously this is not the Blue Boat, nor is it the 63 Galaxy. It's a 67 VW Bug. The engine in here, for anybody who follows the Facebook page, this is not news. For those who don't, who are just here on YouTube, I was driving this car, cleaned it up the other day, took it out for a drive, and as soon as I cracked the heater on, it was like 40 degrees out, cracked the heater on, smelled gasoline. Assembled rotor. You may remember I may have had a bad incident recently with gas leaks on engines. Yeah, that is the result of an engine fire. So I immediately shut the heater off and headed straight home. All right, so opened the deck lid up, got in here, and you can kind of see that fuel fitting right back there, center of the screen. It's a little T fitting. Yeah, it was all wet, leaking gas. So since this would be even worse case of engine fire than the Blue Boat was, Volkswagen uses magnesium in their engine cases, and once they ignite, you can't really put them out. So pulled it in here, shut it off. This engine, the fuel system on here, the fuel lines, I put together back in 2016. So I'm thinking it's aluminum lines, aluminum hard lines. I think the vibration cracked one of the lines, and that's what was leaking. So I got to replace the fuel lines to go to the carb. The hard line coming all the way back to the engine is fine. The hard line coming through the engine tin is fine, but where it splits and goes to the carbs, I'm just going to replace that with rubber hose. So I'm going to try to avoid a little bit of extra work. I don't want to take the deck lid off if I don't have to. So I'm going to be rooting around in here, pulling air cleaners off, and I'll see if I can do this without any additional trouble. This is one of those moments here where you're got to be extra careful to not drop one of these nuts and have it go straight down the carburetor, roll along the intake, go into the head, and then you're fucked, to quote my cousin Vinny. All right, the question is, can I get it out from behind my engine? All right, other line out. Now I gotta get that T-fitting off. That one's gonna be fun. All right, so you can see right there in the center, that fuel fitting, that AN fitting, I'm going to leave on there. That 3/8 line has got a flare at the top. I should be able to squeeze 3/8 hose over that and put a hose clamp on it. That'll actually help retain it. So let's see if this works. Let me show you what I got here. All right, so you can see the T-fitting right here. Below it is the hose clamp on the T-fitting. I have to loosen that top hose clamp, the bottom hose clamp up, slide it down, and then crank it down on the fuel line. But that is in place. So, fuel hose has been installed. And I have to pick these tools up, at least most of them for now. And the nice thing about this car compared to a stock VW is I don't even have to start it to see if I have a fuel leak. This car's got an electric fuel pump on it. So put the keys in, turn it on, and then go back there and look for leaks. Well, I can hear the pump has reached max pressure. What the hell? I got a leak here, but it ain't from the hose. What is leaking? Holy crap. Well, I'll be pulling that carburetor off to figure out why it's leaking. That other carb is nice and dry. All right, back to work. All right, go and turn the key on. Yep. All right, it would appear what I have here is not an entirely uncommon problem, which kind of sucks. I need to pull this top plate off. This is the plug here. So when they build the carburetors, they drill these passages for the fuel to go through, and then they plug them. This plug is leaking. Not sure what they did, what they used as a plug material, but what I'm reading on the internet is this is fairly common, and we'll see what I'm able to pull off as far as repair. All right. This, perfect, does come right off. So long as I can do this without tearing the gasket. Why am I hung up? Oh, because of the float. All right. All right, let's talk about this. There's a little, my guess is aluminum, actually I know it's aluminum, plug. It was in this drill passageway. So that what they do when they're building this is cast, they drill a hole through there, then they put a plug in. That way it allows the fuel that comes in here to hit that line and go into the float chamber. That aluminum plug they had originally put in there was leaking. My guess is it was slightly undersized, and they probably used some sort of sealant, push them in there. The sealant gave up and it just started leaking. In my effort to remove it, I managed to make it even worse. So what I ended up doing was tapping these holes here using I tapped the hole with a tap to put threads in it. Then I tapered this aluminum bolt. So the threads are very short in the hole. The taper on the bolt, and then I put Teflon tape on it, screwed it in nice and tight. It is sealed. It's not gonna come out. Now I'm gonna go over and clean this up by cutting the head of that bolt off, and looking down from the top, no one will ever know that happened. Pressure tested it, and it's actually holding, so yay! Let's see what we got here. I don't know if you can see that very well, but it's all on there. I don't think anyone's ever gonna notice what was up with that. The only way they would ever do that is if it started to leak again and they went to repair it. It's the only way they'd ever find out it was done that way. So, carburetor can go back on now. Carburetor linkage back on here. All right, carb linkage is hooked back up. Fuel lines are on. Let's turn this thing on and see if we got a leak. Everything should be nice and dry. Dry there. Dry there. And everything there is dry. Sweet. Everything's back together. Should fire right up. Let's see what we got. All right, let's do a little video update here. The car was not running right, as you could tell in that video when I fired it up. Turns out that my initial repair on that carburetor there, it didn't leak fuel. It also didn't let any fuel into the carburetor, which kind of makes the car not run right. So I had to pull it back off. I had to drill out my repair. I had to unplug that passageway. And then I ended up doing a slightly different repair on the carburetor. So now you can see right there, kind of in the middle of the screen, that gold bolt head that's sticking out to the right. I tapped that hole for threads. I put that bolt in there. It's a tapered bolt. And then I also have a washer, a gasket washer on the outside of it. So it seals up super tight. There's no leaks. And the car runs much better now that it has fuel going to all 4 cylinders instead of just 2. So, put about 70 miles on this car yesterday, street and freeway driving, and it's running perfect. Alrighty. Here we are in the car. Let's go ahead and fire it up. Got to be a little careful here backing out because I am backing out under my lift, and above me is the blue boat. All right. So here we are. Car seems to be running pretty good. Hard to stay out of the way.